He felt misunderstood, rejected by industry.
Check. 1, 2, check.
Hey.
Hey.
What's poppin'?
What is going on?
Oh, yeah, we fucked up that. For a long time.
What's up, motherfuckers?
We got Lewis in the studio. What's up? Big boy Lewis. What up? Cheers, boys. Cheers.
Cheerio.
We're playing one of his tracks right now. Rich, you playing the drums?
Yes, sir. The Big Rich. Do you know what's funny? That drum set, like we got it right before this fucking screen.
Is that an electric drum set?
Yes.
Sick.
So,
Let's open up the chat so the boys can join us.
hey.
We're just getting started, so anybody want to tune in? Now's the time. Hit the chat, boys. Sick, bro. Yeah, so we just played a little bit of, what's this track's name?
This one's called Schizo Shaman.
Schizo Shaman. There you go. So, once again, welcome to the studio. Whoop, 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 whoop. Lewis in the house. We're posted. Yeah, man, we've been talking back and forth about doing a podcast for a while. My podcasting has kind of reached more engagement this month, so I'm happy to try. I'm more actively pursuing trying to get guests and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, welcome to the studio, and thanks for coming by, dude.
Well, thanks for having me. And
cheers.
I'm glad it finally happened.
Thanks for bringing the beer.
Hell yeah. Cheers to that, for sure.
Absolutely, bro. So, obviously, we already know each other from a really long time ago.
Yep.
So I'll let you introduce yourself and just kind of give us a brief overview of what you do and, you know, where you're from, all that good stuff. So take it away.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, if I start burping a lot, it's the beer. And, like, my gastritis and shit.
Yeah, no, we
Which I
need
probably
to do
have.
something about that. But we're always drinking beer here, but whatever.
So, my name's Louis. I am lead singer and guitar for Nowhere Man, which is who was playing just now. And yeah, dude, I've known Mr. Fuse here, Ricardo, for a long fucking time. It's damn, dude, like Vista days. It's a lot of history in that place.
A lot of history. Lots of history. Yeah, bro. And so you put the band is called Nowhere Men.
Nowhere
right?
Men,
Nowhere
yes.
Men. And you can find it on YouTube. You were just playing one of the tracks on YouTube, so check it out. Just search Nowhere Men. And one of the interesting things about some of the projects you're working on that I was interested in, we talked a little bit about like the tech stuff behind it is live streaming. So I understand that you have another project where you do music live streaming, right?
Yes.
So kind of describe that a little bit. Like, what is that about?
All right. I'm going to crack another one.
You get yourself.
Here you
I
go.
think I need one more
you-
too.
Hell yeah, you do. Come on. Well, for starters, I want to say thank you for having me here. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate you taking the time to, you know, just shoot the breeze and
Shoot the breeze. Just
Just
chill. Yeah,
chilling.
don't think like this is a podcast, but it's really like it's called Real Vibes for a reason. We're not
Yeah.
trying to like fake the funk or do too much, you know. We just hang out and we just talk about stuff, and
Yeah.
we want to give people insight as to like, you know, not as much like what we want to present like artificially or aesthetically. Like I like to think like Instagram is a place where people go and they upload stuff and you only get to see like the best of
Mhm.
what's going on there, but
Yeah.
you know, in this like longer format we get to really explain ourselves and really, you know, people get a feel for who you are and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's better in my opinion for stuff like this, you know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we do our promotions and you do your projects and stuff like that, but it's always fun to just kind of chat and hang out, you know. So
hell yeah.
hell yeah, boys.
So yeah, as far as the streaming goes, prior to fucking COVID coming, you know, shooting through and just wrecking shit all over the place, we were doing live streaming under the music key. It was called the music key. So it's
And we can find that. We just search the Music Key.
yeah. So
Sick.
Music Key on YouTube. There are a few videos of local talent from nearby. You can find anything from Safety Pins, Happy Drunk Cartel, fucking
I know those boys.
fuck yeah, dude. The lead singer reminds me of the Mexican Steve-O, what we used to call him. But they're dope, dude. And then fucking Kevin is amazing at what he does. They
And
all are.
where's this like? Where are you based out of? Like, because I of course I know, but just for people
Yeah.
that are listening and tuning in, like.
So we are Los Angeles based. Most of us grew up in Linwood, but as time goes by, we all move out and stuff.
LWD, what's up?
But Los Angeles based, and then but unfortunately, COVID happened, and then we had to put a halt to it for it was quite a while. We haven't had anything happen there for months.
So you were working on your band project
Yes.
and the Music Key project
Simultaneously,
both
yes.
prior to COVID.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, gotcha.
And that's the thing I was telling you about that fucking sucked because it's like we were proceeding with this Music Key stuff and it was starting to like really like holy shit, like these guys are actually coming in and we were having them perform, and then it was fun, dude. I mean it was time consuming specifically for Richie, who's like the main tech.
He's a
head
tech
behind it.
genius.
Yes, like for example, he's the one behind all the magic, dude. So it's like shout out to our drummer, Richie. So things were happening, and then the band, we had all our fucking equipment set for good. We were ready to roll and start fucking playing live shows, and then
Yeah, no, I
the
feel it.
COVID.
Yeah, it happened. Fortunately for me, of course, it's kind of weird to say that because so many unfortunate events happen for other people. But
Yes.
podcasting is not affected as much. There were a lot of guests that didn't want to come during the hype of COVID just because, we're kind of like sitting, we're still 6 feet away, but, people were kind of worried about coming over to a studio and interacting with others, right?
Yeah.
So I've been working on actually a remote Skype live stream podcast, and I've had one test run with one of my buddies from San Francisco. We did a Skype live stream, and it worked pretty good. So that kind of helped me get my bearings back as far as like trying to get guests. So now I can say, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? You don't have to come in person, right? We can do it over Skype or whatever. So
Yeah.
it opened up a little more options. But I have also been working on, and I talked to you extensively about it, a live stream for music specifically, right? Yeah. So I called it Real Vibes Live. It's just an offshoot of this thing. And as opposed to coming into a studio like we are right now and having everything already set up, we would go to a remote location wherever we would be having this event.
Yeah.
And because of COVID, I'm sure we can't have like a lot of people at a show anymore. So how do we still promote a show? How do we still book bands? How do we still make an event happen? Well, we just live stream it. So that was kind of one of my ideas,
Which is cool because essentially how we've been talking. I'm more than certain we'll probably collaborate. In the future in regards to this, because dude, like Music Key was very similar to that, and it's something that we figured. I don't know. At least to me, it was like it was nice having giving these like just dude these are just kids playing music, like a lot of them are younger, some of them were essentially like our age, people still doing music up into to our age, people that still do it because they love it. And it was just nice having to damn, they come in and then there's like this pro video audio available to them that they can showcase to their family and friends, and then they can be like, hey dude, this is my band, and then they fucking see it, it's like, holy shit, that's your fucking band.
That's cool. Yeah. That's kind of what this is like in a way. A lot of people want to come and talk about certain subjects and showcase them, but there's really no avenue for us to go, so it's kind of we have to be DIY kind of guys. And so we're both, you can say we're in the DIY realm, right? Like we're doing our own thing,
definitely,
and
DIY,
making it happen. So that's very, very awesome, and I'm happy to oh my god, we got the Pepe the Frogs already popping up in the chat.
Hey Pepe, hey, that's not a dead meme yet, yo.
That's not a dead meme.
I know it's like
Kekistan.
We still keki out here. But
that's rad, bro. Let me ask you about Music Key, because obviously you have like bands from the area, like Southeast LA. Like a lot of people are referring. There's a new like way of referring to the area, like Southgate, Linwood, Paramount, Compton. They call it Sela, Southeast LA.
Oh shit.
Did you know that? Yeah, there's like a new thing.
Nah, dude,
yeah.
I'm like, I had no clue. That's dope though.
Yeah, it's a new way of referring to that area because we got South Central LA,
Mhm.
we got the South Bay, we have like the beach area, we have Hollywood area, downtown, right? East LA,
Yeah.
but what is that? You know what I mean? Like it's Southeast LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. So, I'm
That's
happy
cool.
to come from a place where we can connect with people like that and keep things alive. So that's
Yes.
what my next question was because I'm sure like when we were doing music, there was like a lot of stuff going on, and there
Mhm.
was a lot of bands. Word of mouth went a long way, right? Like
Yep.
we the flyers, and we gave away stuff, and we invited people to come to our shows and stuff.
The
and
MySpace bulletins.
the MySpace bulletins and all that
Dude,
stuff.
yeah.
And all that stuff was really awesome, and we did a lot of stuff. And I kind of felt bad. I kind of felt responsible for leaving Linwood in a way and moving away to like far away like San Francisco because
Mhm.
I felt like I wasn't participating in where I came from and giving back or whatever. So when I came back, doing this podcast was like another great outlet for me, so I assume that you probably feel the same way, right? Like about local bands. I was gonna ask you like, are there new bands? Like,
Yeah.
are there younger kids doing stuff?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Kind of. What kind of stuff? Like, explain some of that stuff. Yeah.
So one of the main ones, one of my favorite, he's a good friend of mine. His name's Danny. We actually used to work together and everything. Dude, Safety Pins, surf punk, like it's like very
Shout out, Safety
shout out
Pins.
Safety Pins. Hey, look up Safety Pins on YouTube. I know they have a new EP out that's available on Spotify as well. But yeah, dude, like the reason why these kinds of people like I really want them to kind of like sprout and showcase their work is because I remember him specifically from the very beginning. He was just like some kid who was just playing music. He would play like little backyards and stuff and like they sucked. Like in the beginning they fucking sucked. And
Everybody
I
sucks in the
remember,
beginning.
like
right?
we all did,
Yeah.
right? And I remember because
Thank God there are our early videos are not around. Thank God there wasn't Instagram back then. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I remember him specifically after that show, and I told him my honest opinion. I was like, dude, that wasn't that good. I think you could work on it. And then he over the years I saw him grow as a musician, and now it's like, dude, seeing what he's doing, it's like, yeah, dude, that's what I want to fucking showcase people like that.
That's right.
I want people like that to fucking
Let me ask you for the Music Key project specifically. Do you have any like prerequisites as far as genres, or are you open to any type of music, or are you focused on a particular?
I would say any, because there's a rap video on there. His name's Juice, Mr. Juice. We
Sick.
had a rap artist come in, and yeah, dude, he came in and he just laid it out. And
So any music.
Yeah,
and what is let's go a little bit into the tech behind it, because we talked a little bit about that, and I'm kind of interested because you're sitting obviously in my studio, so you see kind of like what my setup looks like.
it's
And so I'm curious, like, because we were talking about, in case other people are interested in setting up their own DIY type of project, right? The difficult part is going to be, how do we get a high quality stream, right? Video and high quality audio out for people to listen to, right? So it's always, you either, back in the day, you'd have to go to a guy, pay a studio to record your track, and then you would upload it on a MySpace or whatever. People would click on it here and there, but it wasn't like, people couldn't really discover you to that extent,
yeah.
But nowadays, having these type of tools, which are honestly being abused, in my opinion, like they're being used for like kind of like tomfoolery half the time, you know what I mean? Like fucking cats on YouTube and bullshit like this, And
Hey, some of those videos are funny. The old school one with what was that one that went
keyboard
viral
one.
so long ago? The fucking keyboard
the
shit.
keyboard cat, yeah.
But I feel you though.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like there are resources that if we had back in the day, we would have tried. We would have done a lot with. So we're blessed in a way that we have access to this technology, and at the same time, we became kind of like oversaturated with it, right? Like there's like a lot of content being put out by a lot of people.
Yes.
It's very easy to get buried, right? Like trying to get a lot of views and trying to get your videos out. Like by all means, like this podcast isn't like, oh my god, we're going viral right now. You know what I mean? But I think if we work on it and we build it with time, right? Like over and over, like things will grow, right? And so.
Yes.
consistency. Like one of my my girlfriend's brother, Javi the Hong, he talks
that's
a
the
lot
guy
about.
that was talking about the. I think I saw that podcast with the you guys dissected that one anime. God.
Oh yeah, Evangelion.
Yeah, dude, I've been watching that. It's just fucking crazy.
That's a crazy anime,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just dope.
Don't spoil it though, because I haven't finished it.
Don't worry. Don't watch the podcast. Yeah.
No, I saw most of it,
Yeah,
but I didn't really understand what the fuck was really going on.
Okay,
'cause
perfect.
I haven't seen it.
Perfect. Then just watch the deal, and then you can
But-
be like, whoa.
But that's what convinced me to like actually pick it up.
Hell yeah! I'm glad that we did something by
Yeah.
making that podcast. That's rad. Yeah, bro. So like again, like the technology behind our work, like in this studio here, I'm computer based.
Yeah.
So I have a computer that's hanging out over here on this side, and it has in case anybody's wondering how we're doing it, it's connected to HDMI capture cards. Like you can get these like pretty much from like eBay for like $30.
Yeah.
And then I have some cameras here, and the cameras we're using are Sony's mirrorless cameras, and they're pretty rad. They're cheap. I spent like no money like doing this, you know what I mean? You always want to keep it like as low as possible, you know. And then that is feeding like my audio is feeding to my mixer over here. Then I have like a DJ mixer, and it's picking up our mics, and it's a pretty simple setup, you know, nothing too crazy. So I think for like an affordable amount of money, you can definitely get like a live stream like with high quality video and audio.
Yep.
But I know you guys were going the route as opposed to like computer based. You were telling me that you were using a switcher, right? Like
Yes.
an HDMI switcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me kind of what that's like trying to use one of those things.
I'll try my best, given that I'm not the one that really knows much.
Rich
like,
is the tech.
Yeah,
the tech.
dude.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of
Yeah, so essentially what it is just like a mini control switcher that switches between cameras. Like that's literally just it. Like
And so you have a switcher,
mhm.
and then you have cameras connected to the switcher.
Essentially, yes.
What kind of cameras do you have plugged into your switcher?
GoPros and a few. So initially for that live stream that we did, so part of the reason why it's only 2 cameras.
I'll
and
pull it
part
up right here. So
yeah. And part of the reason also why it took us so long to fucking get started. You know, it's like 13 minutes in, and it's like just blackness and just like, hey, you just hear fucking voices in the background. Like, did you figure it out? But yeah, we were planning on doing 4 cameras, and we did have them set up, but for whatever the reason, we couldn't really like at the very moment of.
And
going
you're
into
using the HDMI out of your camera.
Oh, see, that's
to go
one
to
of the
the
things
switcher?
that happened to me particularly because I have a GoPro that I was ready to fucking go, dude. And you know how it's like one of those situations where like new iPhones or iPods or whatever the fuck, it's like oh yeah, the new one, but oh well, like it has a new charger or you have to get this in order to have the thing that it used. Sorry. Like, yeah, you have to get if in order to have the feature that it used to have on the old iPhone, like you got to now buy
The
this.
firmware, like
Yeah,
some,
dude.
yeah.
So it's something similar to that happened to me, where I have a GoPro 7, and then I had bought the HDMI adapter, but I stupidly bought the one for the fucking the 8.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So like literally in the middle of it, I'm just like,
Oh, she doesn't
like,
work.
This doesn't
Yeah.
fucking fit.
So then your cameras are like this camera that we're watching now is feeding to your and what's the name of the switcher in case anybody wants to know? It's
The mini
it's a-
ATEM.
the Mini Atom Pro.
Yeah.
And
Which-
it's by Black Magic or no,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, right? Yeah.
But
And it's
bro, you were talking shit about it.
I was just
I was
saying
like,
it
we
was
got
whack.
the 10 minutes. Like, oh, she's whack. I was like, oh well, yeah. Where you saying?
I,
That's alright.
I'm not hating on it because it does its job, you know.
Yeah.
And admittedly, like with a computer-based software like this, we're having to like deal with firmware and like other crap. Like you saw me, I had to unplug it,
Yeah.
re-plug it in, reset the computer for everything to be functioning.
Yeah.
Admittedly, with the all-in-one standalone device, it kind of just works, right? Like you just plug it in, and it just goes, right? Yeah.
I assume so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't have to deal with like all that.
Yeah.
You just plug HDMI sources to it, and it's good to go, right?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you use those for your video, but then what do you use for your audio? How do you route your audio to
Oh,
your device?
that's completely a mystery to me. That's all. That's all, Mr. Richard.
You should have brought Rich on the pod. He could have broke
I know,
it down.
dude. My bad. It's because I came straight from where I just wrote.
Hey, work is
Yeah.
hustling.
Hustling. But yeah, he's the one. Maybe in the future we can have him come in. He'll explain it a little more in detail. But in in essence, he's the one who
But you probably have a mixer with multiple inputs and stuff like that, right?
yeah, and he's the mastermind behind
and
it.
then that shit goes to the
Something
Mini
like
Pro,
that.
right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Sick. Cool. Yeah. So how does that work for you so far? Like, as far as like, besides the cameras giving you problems, like audio and all, everything else is Gucci.
For this particular podcast, not necessarily so, because unfortunately, because we were having a lot of technical difficulties in the beginning, which had happened to us prior, like before we tried it the first time, we had to postpone for the same reason. So we had tested it a few days before, and we were ready to go. But then at the very moment, it's like, fuck, shit's happening. And then we were about to postpone it, and then we just decided, okay, well, we can't have the 4 cameras, so we'll just go with 2, and then we'll sound check this out the window. Hopefully, it sounds good. Like,
Yeah. How do you deal with that? Like, are you able to like monitor, like, or because I see you guys are wearing headphones, so
yes,
you're able to listen to what you're doing when you're
Yes,
yeah? Oh,
yes.
sick.
But in this particular video, the mixer's way the hell somewhere else, and we just kind of ran with it. But that's the good thing about these kinds of test runs, and essentially just jumping into things sometimes.
That's the best way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the
Because
best
it's
way.
like, okay, we could have easily been like, nah, it's not 100%. It's not up to par to what our expectations are. We can't do it. But we kind of just said, you know what, like, 2 cameras, let's make it happen. The sound might not be that great, but fuck it, let's just jump into it. At least we did it, and then we'll learn from it. And that's essentially what happened.
Bro, a lot. I have to tell you that a lot of this stuff is just pure shenanigans if you think about it. Like equipment. Like, there's a thing that happens to creators where they get obsessed with the equipment.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I gotta have the latest this. I gotta have the latest that. What's the best mic and what's the best this and that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And people get really obsessed with the hype of the equipment when
Yeah.
in reality, you could just fucking live stream off your phone and, like, you know what I mean? And, like,
Yeah.
as long as the content's the most important thing, right? Like,
Content.
yeah. Of course, given that having a high quality camera and having decent audio is important.
Yeah, as far as we go, it's like, if we have it available for us, we use it, and then if we can upgrade, if we have the means to upgrade, we will upgrade. And that's essentially been our kind of like take on it. And then I feel absolutely blessed, actually, to be working with these dudes, because essentially it's kind of like the perfect mixture of, I don't know, it just worked out. Like,
how many bands have you guys well, let me ask you, how many times have you live streamed and how many bands have you featured? Yeah, so if you can.
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Okay, so this is an actual live stream. This video that it's on the
This is an actual live stream.
actual live stream that occurred.
Oh yeah, I see
at
here.
the moment
Stream
of-
live.
Yeah, and then when we were doing Music Key, a lot of the workload was after the fact. So the person would come in, we would record them, and then then we would edit and take time to.
Yeah, that's the thing about this is why I love this podcast too, Loki, because we can literally sit right here and we're just chatting, and then like it's already
It's
on
already
YouTube.
there, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to go and cut switch scenes. Like, I don't have to go and take 4 memory cards
Yeah.
out of 4 cameras,
Yeah.
put them all into a computer, and then edit them. You know,
Yeah,
and let's talk about the cost a little bit about, because like I am fully like the guy that wants to do everything for the low. You know what I mean? So like, I'll go to swap meet and I'll buy random stuff. I'm an opportunist. Like,
Yeah.
I work with the stuff that I get for cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it works
And,
out. It works out.
And a lot of the time, like, even with software, like having like Photoshop is kind of a necessity, right, for making thumbnails and stuff like that. And like for editing videos, what do you use? A Final Cut Pro or
Well,
Adobe Premiere?
Me in particular, I think it's Premiere, but me in particular, I am the one who usually edits promos. So, because given that my capacity to do anything technical is very fucking limited.
Don't fucking beat yourself up.
No,
like
I
that.
mean, I'm not just being honest. Like, I'm mostly the guy that's just
He's not like
singing and
psychic
playing
shit. He
guitar.
probably goes back and is like knows all the shortcuts and stuff. He's
No,
lying.
no, I mean, I like to make little quick promos. Like, for example, the promos to these they were just flyers. Sometimes they were mini videos, but it was just me and my phone. And then,
Your phones are very, like, that's another crazy thing.
Mhm.
Phones can do a whole grip of stuff these days, you know? Like,
yeah,
a lot of the times I'm actually using the phone as a tool, because you'll find that, like, when you are recording things with high quality cameras and when you're recording things with high quality audio and then you go to render these videos, they're like 1,000 gigabytes or something like this, and then so that you want to upload it takes forever. You want to trim it takes forever. So sometimes you can just use your phone, and it's like a great tool for like just shortening things and like making little like, because that's another thing about compatibility and like different platforms. Like Instagram, you've got to go with IGTV vertical video.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? A 1 minute cap on like normal horizontal video, and then stories, and like there's just like a million different ways to put stuff out there. It's honestly really super annoying to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I was having issues with when I was like, I would spend time on these little promos. I was like, all right, this one's ready, and then I would go on fucking Instagram, and it was like, all right, post, and then for whatever reason, Instagram is like very specific as to the fucking frame or the size of whatever it is you're posting or something similar to that. I don't know. I'm not. But I couldn't post it. I'm like, what the fuck? So do I have to like squash
you gotta
it?
do all that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, can I just fucking post it? Or can I? I don't know.
Nah, they're bootleg like that.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And these days, kids' attention spans are getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So, okay, uploading to Facebook is unlimited. You can do whatever you want. All right. Now you are on Instagram. Okay, stories are like 10 seconds, right? And then like videos are 1 minute. Okay, let's make it shorter. Let's make Instagram Reels, Oh, you want shorter? Oh, let's make TikTok. Let's make it even shorter. You know what I mean? So now kids are just blasting through stuff, just boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? They're just like 10-second quick hitters. And if your content is 10 seconds of, all right, are you ready?
Yeah,
they're already switched.
Yes, exactly.
They already switched. You know what I mean?
And that's part of the reason why it's like, damn, that first initial stream. And that's why I was like, all right, we have to fucking put timestamps because nobody's gonna watch the first 10 minutes. It's
dude,
just
and am I right that the work, even live streaming is easier than editing video, of course. But at the same time, once this stream is over, we're gonna have to go in the computer and we're gonna still have to add a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Make a thumbnail on Photoshop. We're still gonna have to fucking render the MP3 version, upload that to SoundCloud. You know what I mean? So it can go to Spotify. So it can go to, there's like, I have like a little system that I do. But even then, bro, it takes forever. You know what I mean?
A lot of work to
it takes forever. And it's like, yo, like there's got to be a better way. You know what I mean? But at the same time, none of like what we wish for is like for like all of these tech companies to like be like this, to work together, to be synced, right? Like we want like to upload to one place and it just kind of goes everywhere. That would be the best way, right?
Yeah.
But all of these assholes got to be like, no, we want this, and no, we want that. Your video has to be this big,
Yeah.
And it's super annoying. Talk about live streaming, same thing. Bit rates. Twitch only accepts 6,000 kilobits per second. Oh, YouTube can accept up to 10,000. Oh, some people's phones don't support that. So if you live in Afghanistan, you're not gonna be watching this if you're streaming at 6,000 kilobits. You gotta dumb it down. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate that they make it so complicated for us. But at the same time, we can do it out of our house. Like we can do it out of anywhere. We can set up something like an HDMI switcher is like a crazy thing that back in the day, like only like television sets had this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now me and you can just get one.
Yep. That's the trippiest part. I still trip out on that shit because like, when you like. For example, when we look back 10 years ago, when we used to go to back of your shows and fucking, just listen to bands and get faded and all that shit, the good shit. Like, who would have fucking thought that we could actually, I don't know, like, there's going to be some, like, the tech is going to be available to you if you just work hard enough for it, and then you can actually do something with it.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Like,
and software-wise, I'm 100%, like, unofficial. Like, I'm not going to tell you where to go to download it, but let's just say it's available.
You're speaking Chinese to me.
It's available for non-monetary transfers. You know what I mean? Like you can go to places like the Bay of Pirates and get you what you need. You know what I mean? But people have gotten mad at me for condoning that type of behavior.
Bay of Pirates.
I can't say the real thing. You know what I mean? But
what the fuck is that, dude? Is that like
this is Ivan? You know Ivan.
Ivan. That sounds familiar.
Ivan sounds like tall dude, metalhead fool, plays in bands.
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan, he's
What's
in the
up,
chat.
big dog?
Oh, shout out to Ivan.
Shout out Ivan. Oh, Crimson Knight. Yeah, Ivan.
He's our chat master.
What's up, big dog?
Oh, he's a Twitch boy. I can see the logo.
Send me nudes, papash.
Dude, yeah. Honestly, like to be honest, like, yes, technology is great. You know,
Mhm.
it adds to our creativity, but it also kind of takes away a little bit. Like, just
Yeah.
think about this. Like, back in the day, you go to a show, you play in a band, and you're mostly concerned with your gear. Like, okay, what about my guitar amp? What about my drum set? And who's
Mhm.
gonna help me set up? You know what I mean? And then these days, like, you go to a show, like a DJ has like a million things he needs to plug in. You know what I mean? A band, there's a fucking drone and there's like 3 cameras here and there. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a whole enterprise thing happening every
Yeah.
time I go somewhere. Everybody is a rock star these days.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You go to any little show,
Yeah.
everyone's got the whole like get up and everyone's got a photographer and there's a guy. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Everybody. So it's kind of cool, but at the same time,
No, I feel it has.
You know what I
There's a
mean?
detriment to it.
it takes away from your live experience. You know,
Mhm.
like what's the point? You're looking at it through the fucking camera lens, but you're not enjoying the band like
Yeah.
per se. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and that's part of the reason why it's like, well, for number one, I do feel you. However, when it's this whole COVID shit pushed us to fucking. It's like, all right, if we can't play shows how we intended from the very beginning, because we were ready to rev it up and go, and we're like, all right, well, what can we do? Like, you know, we could have easily been like, well, we can't play shows. Like, we can't just we can't do it.
Or you could have just done it, but that would have been
Oh, yeah,
against the
yeah,
rules,
and
and
then
you know.
bada
But
bing, bada
people have
boom.
been fucking around, like even
Yeah.
like throughout COVID, like maybe it is kind of rare to see it, to be honest. But
Uh-huh.
but I don't know about you. A lot of people I know were still throwing fat parties and shows
I
bro,
wasn't
throughout the
aware.
whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the news? Like there's like all the time, like, oh, party in Compton gets raided, 300 arrested. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude. No,
Have
I
you seen
wasn't
that kind of
aware,
stuff?
honestly.
No?
No.
It's been happening, bro. And then people have been going to like car meets, and people have been going to parties and shows, and there's been whole bands got arrested,
Yeah.
all in South Central, and particularly the ska scene. Those fools are so grunge that they don't give a fuck about COVID. You know what I mean? Those fools are worried about gonorrhea. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
dissing ska niggas, but you know what I mean.
Well, I wasn't aware. Like, I remember in the beginning. I don't know. We just figured.
Hey, beer me, senor, beer me.
Of course, hell yeah. Here we go.
We'll do it. We'll do one more cheers.
Here we go. When you're ready.
We're ready now.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't
Ivan's
aware.
cheering us with his memes. He's
What's up, Ivan?
sending us
Cheerio.
Pepe wine meme.
Anyways, yeah. Me particularly, I wasn't aware. I just figured, well, we can't fucking play. And then
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I limited my participation in events as
No,
well.
yeah.
Like the last show I played was the last pre-COVID show was actually like a whole year ago. If you think about March,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the
It was
crazy
a
part.
straight up whole year ago, bro. That was my last DJ gig, you know. And then after that, I had I'm sure you know Monster
Oh,
from
yeah,
Proyecto
yeah.
Macabro. He was
Hey,
on the
Monster.
podcast. Shout out to Monster.
What's up, big dog?
He was on the podcast shortly after we had a show.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, I saw that one.
and so he had a show in October when the COVID rules started to become more lax. But
Mhm.
then it happened again. They hit us with the second wave or whatever, you know, and the second lockdown, and so then it got difficult again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I haven't had a show since then. Luckily, I have I can still work at the bike shop and do
Mhm.
things. But if I was like strictly a musician, that would really suck. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It definitely sucks for a lot of musicians that would perform. You know, musicians, especially the ones that are actually career musicians, struggle enough as it is. So to then suddenly like, hey, you know, you can't even play. You can't fucking make money. And it's not just musicians, by the way. It's like, you know, most people, when all that shit happened, especially people that work restaurants or had any businesses. But yeah, it's just it sucked, dude. It was bad. And then it essentially damn, I fucking lost my train of thought.
It's all good as a beer. We got this juicy
Juicy.
Blue Moons. No
Um,
promotion. No.
But pretty much, yeah. Well, as far as that whole thing went, as you know, because we had booked shows for April. Like we actually had, and we
yeah,
were
isn't that
set.
the weirdest part? That
Mhm.
like you were thinking like, oh yeah, comes April, we're gonna be doing
Yep.
this stuff, and then
Yep.
you're like, oh wait a
And
minute,
then
you know?
and then it got canceled. And we were like, fuck. And this is where it goes back to what I was saying. It was like, well, we could have easily just been like, well, fuck, well, that sucks. But no, I mean, we figured it's like, well, I mean, we're grown men. We make our own money. We could fucking.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are not primarily musicians, but for the most part, you guys are working men.
Yeah.
And then like you just got off of work right now,
Yeah.
and then this is like your project, right?
Yeah, I
your
do
baby.
this. I do this because I have to. I just love doing it, dude. Like, you know, any sane person would have stopped by now and be like, you know, it was fun,
But this is what keeps us sane in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, even if it takes more effort to do
Yes.
it, even if you're tired after work, you want to go out and do something because it makes you feel better about
Hell yeah.
about whatever it is you had to do for 8 hours.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, I love doing this shit, dude. I've always like loved it, and I have to do it. Like, I have to do music in some form or another, you know, even if it's just me making my little songs or writing songs and then finding a way to get them recorded or do something, or, you know, reaching out. Maybe this band didn't work, because I've been in fucking dozens of bands.
You're a band
dude.
slut?
Yeah, I'm a band slut, dude. And then I've hopped on all kinds of bands' dicks left and right. No. But yeah, dude. And then I don't know. It just I feel like I have to do it. I have to do it because it gives me I don't know. It makes me feel in the moment very, very
Yeah, it's fulfilling, you know.
fulfilled.
Yeah,
That's the fucking word.
It's fulfilling. Yeah, it makes you feel centered, and it gives you the focus that you need to do whatever else. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah. I agree. 100% feel this exact same way about even running this podcast. Is not necessarily like we're not chasing money, we're not chasing fame or anything like that. We're just chasing what I would call local recognition and, you know, boosting our projects so that others can enjoy it. It's not even for us to enjoy it. You know,
it's a creative endeavor that you've taken upon yourself, that you just, the fact that you do it, and then, like, you know, it's something that you pour your heart out into, and seeing it fucking actually become fruitful, and, you know, like, seeing that your work
when it
paid
becomes
off,
a thing is pretty fucking rad.
yeah, dude. And
That's always the coolest thing. That's what I enjoyed about backyard shows a lot, because you know, in a backyard show, like, for everyone that's not familiar with a backyard show, like, but from the era that we come from, like, we're talking a grip of people in the place where they're not supposed to be, you know, just a massive amount of people, and everyone's getting faded, and there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. But in the center of it, there's a band, and these fools have been practicing for like a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, they got a 1 hour set that's probably going to be cut short, you know? You know, and their setup is going to probably take a little too long, because these fools should have known that they should have brought less equipment, because this is a sketch-ass place.
Oh
But
my
no,
God, tell me about it, dude.
they had to bring a full stack, not a half stack, not a 100-watt amp, and not a half stack. No, they had to bring a full stack. You know what I mean? They had to bring the most enormous bass amp you could imagine. You know, they had to bring a full drum set with 1 million cymbals.
Yeah.
You know, and it takes like an hour to fucking, you know.
Oh, dude, the drummers would always take the longest. Dude.
Don't say that.
Look,
Don't say that.
Dude, it's like when you're already cut short on time, and the drummers just there like.
No, it's guitarists, bro. They take an hour to tune.
That's true. It's true.
No,
Guilty,
it is
by the
drummers.
way.
It is drummers, low key, because nobody helps these fools.
That's true.
Like, you plug in like 2 cables and the guitar, you get to go. A drummer, this fool has hardware and stands and a throne and like all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But I've learned the hard way, like, when doing backyard shows. Like, I was like a bit of a crossover. I'm sure you remember. Like, I loved playing drums, and I loved being part of the band community and the live music shows. Like, whether it was ska or indie or whatever it was, right? It was all cool to me. I loved all of it. You know, I loved indie music.
It was a lot of fun, for sure.
It was a lot of fun. We threw so many shows back in the day. It was so much fun, bro. It was like the best times ever.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And a lot of that time that we were doing all these shows, I was DJing in them. So
I remember
yeah,
this,
so I brought in a different element, because there was, admittedly, back in our day, there was a lot of segregation, right? Like, there was like, nah, fool, this is a ska show, fool. What are you doing here, you know? And there was like the hardcore fools. They're like, nah, bro, get that metalcore shit out of here, bro. We're hardcore, bro. We're post-hardcore, bro. And then you go to a psychobilly show, they're like, bro, what is that ska shit, bro? You know? And it just, no matter where you went, like, well, we're the blackest metal of all black metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Oh, the elitist metalhead. Yeah, I used to be one of those.
You used to be one of those?
Yeah, you grow out of it though. You definitely do.
Yeah, we all went through our phases and we all joined different things.
Yeah,
you know?
especially when you're younger, you're just dumb and
Yeah.
naive.
But I always enjoyed all music, so
Mhm.
I played drums for many different bands, but mostly the DJing was really fun for me. But the whole point of that whole fucking this rant that I went on is that my equipment started getting more and more burner like. So like at first I was like, yeah, I want to take the best speakers and I want to take the best. I had the band mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I want to take my drum set. I want it to look fly. I want people to be impressed, right? I want to take my DJ speakers. I want to have the best turntables. I want people to be impressed.
Uh-huh.
And then you're like, hey, I don't know. I might get jacked. You know what I mean?
I'm out here like on Normandy and Western and shit. With
Oh,
fucking-
no.
At 12 midnight.
Oh,
like,
we're in El Segundo in Compton. Oh, shit.
you know what's funny? I actually have, dude. Most of the craziest stories I've ever had in terms with like playing in a band and doing backyard gigs are the fucking Proyecto Macabro days where
Oh, my God.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, you played in that
fucking
band?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to play
For a while, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the blood drinking days. That's what I call it.
I remember that. Yeah, no, but dude, I remember one time we were playing some show in South Central. Like, I forgot where exactly, but it was sketch as fuck. And then I packed my fucking Ford Explorer to the brim with almost most of the equipment.
Most of us.
Yeah,
bro.
most of the fucking equipment. So like I'm on my way. I have like 2/3 of the members with me, and then I get a call from, I can't remember if it was Monster or Necro, one of them, but I get a call from one of the members who was already there, and he was like, "Hey, bro, don't fucking come out here, like turn back." But I was already around the corner. He was like, "What the fuck you mean?" He's like, "Nah, this shit got raided." He's like, "Oh, by the cops?" Like, "No, it got raided, dude, by cholos."
Hey, that's a funny word. Oh, it got raided? Oh, shit. And there was always some bullshit. Bro, half of the time, more than half the time, none of these fools had permission to use any of the spots that we were at. You know what I mean? They were abandoned lots. I remember going and doing multiple, like a season of shows at an abandoned lot behind Alameda on 103rd. People gave it a name, the 103rd lot, you know? And there was there were so many shows that were thrown there, so many unsupervised kids doing crazy stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Those were the days. But it was amazing to see like people get creative and set things up. But then again, there was always that boundary, like, hey, I don't want to get jacked. You know what I mean?
Looking back, dude, like in the moment when you're that age and that young, and you know you're just doing it, you don't realize, hey, this is sketch. Like, you're kind of putting yourself in a situation where things can go bad.
Yeah, and this goes out to all the youngsters that are out there who are trying to do the same thing. Beware, my friends. Beware.
Just always pay attention.
Because things happen, bro, and like we survived. But there's a lot of stuff that has happened that that we don't have to get into. But it can get wild out there. It's a wild west in the hood, you know. When it comes to shows,
yeah,
when it
dude.
comes to, and organizing shows, the cholos start to get hip. You know, like they're like, oh.
Well, that's what.
Are you a rocker, fool? Hey, how much did you get in? $3? And they're like, oh, I bet that doorman has all the money. And then they go rob your ass.
That's
you know
exactly what happened at that show, dude. When I turned the corner and he told dude turn back, it got raided. Not by cops, which was my initial like reaction, like, oh, well, it got raided. Like, nah, dude, cholos pulled up, and sure enough, dude, like I was already pulling around the corner, and then cholos robbed a dude that was charging at the door. And then there's like just a barrage of cholos like standing around. I'm like, what the fuck? So I start turning around like, nah, fuck this. And then one of them called out to my window. And he was like, hey, like, put your window down. I was like, hell nah, you fucking swear. And I just fucking pressed the pedal and I booked it the fuck out of there. I had all the equipment. They were jacking.
You know
what's
what's crazy about those days, bro? Is that I don't know how, but we had no respect for cholos. You know what I mean? I had no respect for cholos. Like, we'd be like, what the fuck? And we would just mollywop them fools. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like cholos fell off. Like cholos that were like, oh, mi barrio and all this stupid shit. And then like we were the generation that just kind of like grew out of it. Like we were tired of the cholo thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. We wanted to do new things. You know, we were like, yo, get off my sack, bro. You know what I mean? Go get a fucking job. Go do something, bro. I'm out here trying to play music. You trying to rob me?
Yeah, it was.
What's going on?
It was sad to see, dude. When people would get robbed. Kids would get robbed at the
all
door.
the time, bro. We beat up so many cholos at so many.
Fuck.
Did not give a fuck in those days.
Dude, I remember this one time we almost got fucked up. It was me and I don't know if you remember Alex Necro.
Yeah, Negro. Shout out to
Wherever the fuck
he's at.
Necro,
If he's
my
listening,
boy.
I'll
I
tag
miss you,
his ass
dog.
if I find him.
I don't know where the fuck he's at. I haven't seen him in like 5 years. But anyways, this is a pretty funny story. You know, Macabro was like a Halloween show, or I don't know if it was a Halloween show, but we
Bro,
were
hey,
dressed
I
up.
like to think that Proyecto Macabro is a Halloween all year round.
I think so. And that's why I can't remember if it was an actual Halloween show or if it was just a show and we were dressed up. Because you know what I'm saying? But I remember we were dressed up and Necro was Frankenstein and I was like some weird Hannibal Lecter, like with spiky hair and contact lenses.
Sick.
We played some show out in East LA, like with the hills, and then, anyways, we were done. So we were already loading our shit, and then the pathway to get to the place where we played from, and to our cars is very narrow, and at the door it was like the cholo that was charging at the door. So
Designated cholo.
Designated cholo. So when I was walking, I'm like rushing, dude. I'm trying to like load everything up so we can then chill, you know? Like, you know that moment where it's like, let's get the fucking expensive equipment out of sight so we can then chill and drink back and kick back, you know?
That's true. That is a priority. Yeah.
So I was going, you know, I'm walking and then this dude was just standing at the fucking, it was like a door. And then he's talking to his homie. He's like, you know. And I asked him politely, like multiple times. I was like, hey, excuse me, like, can you move out the way so I can get through to my equipment? And then he wasn't hearing me or he was ignoring me, one or the other. But after a while, I got fed up, and I just shoved this big ass fool out the way, like why would I do that? I'm gonna get my ass fucked up. But anyway, I just shoved him out the way. I was like, boom. And then he reacts. That's when he reacts. He was like, hey, homie, what the fuck? And he was like, what the fuck, fool? What the fuck you do that for? And I was like, well, I need to get through, and I've been trying to get your attention. And I'm like, I'm going to get my equipment. Like, nah, what the fuck, fool? Like, yeah, nah, you know where you're at, fool?
Nah, he's on that sus shit.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, whatever. like, I just shrugged him off, dude, stupidly. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go get my stuff. You know, whatever, and we kept doing our thing. And for whatever reason, after a while, somebody went up to me. He was like, hey, dude, like, bounce. I was like, what, why? He was like, yeah, dude, they're looking for, like, there's some big cholo out there, like, looking with a fucking, I think he had one of those wrenches or some shit, or a bat, I don't know, he had some kind of fucking weapon, and he was like, yeah, dude, he's walking out there looking for, he's like, hey, where the fuck is Frankenstein and Hannibal Lecter? He's like, where the fuck is Hannibal and Frankenstein?
And you were identifiable.
Yeah, because of the fucking, acaba la chingada, güey, like, fuck, and then I was like, fuck that, and then we just, luckily by then everything was loaded, and like, nah, we but
that was my problem, bro. Is I never let things slide, bro. I was a big, you know, I was like big headed, you know what I mean? Like when fools would mess with me, I would just be like, you know what? It wasn't not so much fighting, but that happened often as well, you know, because it just happens. But it was mostly like, who are you? You know what I mean? Who are you, bro? Like, we're doing things, you know? Who are you, bro? Why are you here?
Yeah.
And this was always my attitude, so it does get you into trouble, but at the same time, like, it does get you a little bit of, like, I don't know, back in the day, reputation was, like, very important, you know? Like, things being word of mouth. Like, if somebody heard that you got punked by some random cholo, you know, and then it goes down the line, and then the next thing you know, you throw another show, and then people think that funny things, people think that they're going to rob you, or they'll call the cops on you, or they just be haters, you know. So the hood enterprise of throwing gigs was like a whole industry all in itself. Given, okay, it was like a bunch of kids that didn't know what they were doing, but at the same time, we all were entrepreneurs. Yeah. We were all like, hey, this is how much we're going to charge if we want to break off even. You know what I mean? Like,
in a very primal and weird way, these kids, we somehow knew what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah, bro. And nobody had to tell us. We just learned all on our own. Which is, I find that to be like super amazing, bro. This is also why I think that the music from that era was fucking awesome. Like all the music that came out, all the metal music that came out from that era, all that. And then there was a phase at the time, like an indie phase.
Oh yeah.
I remember there
Like
was
10
a,
years
you
ago,
know,
2011
yeah,
specifically. For some reason, that
Yeah.
particular year it was filled with indie.
Yeah, the Strokes came out as a band, and everyone wanted to be the Strokes, and you
Yeah.
know we had a bunch of cool hipster kids. The hipsters started coming out, leather jackets and cool stuff. Actually, one of the guys, I don't know if you know, and I don't want to bring up like a dark subject because I don't want to bum us out, but I will
It's all
bring
good,
it up.
dude. We can go there. Where are we going?
It's
Let's
not
strap
it's
up.
not that crazy, but one of our friends from our year, from our generation, Abel Obeso. I don't know if you know him, but he played in a band called the NV.
DNV.
No, the NV.
The Envy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he played in like an indie band, and he passed away a few days ago. He was in a car wreck, and unfortunately,
Oh, shit, dude.
he I don't know how it happened, but
What's his name?
Abel. Yeah, Abel. He played in indie bands, and
Yeah.
he knows Chino from
Yeah.
Proyecto Macabro, and he hung out with all those cats.
Damn, that sucks,
Yeah, so
dude.
that's the kind of stuff that's another reality that we have to really like comprehend, is that as much as we think that there's a price to pay, you know what I mean, for even just existing in the South LA area, you know, there's always a price to pay. If you're not careful, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah,
So,
which is part of the reason why, you know, looking back, it amazes me. Like, honestly, it really fucking amazes me when you look back and it's like, dude, we were, like, it would be 2 a.m. and we'd all be just walking the streets of, like, Compton and shit, just drinking and being drunk and just getting rowdy and shit.
yeah.
It's crazy the
Something
fact that
you would never do today.
no, dude,
No
like, it's
way.
like, and it's just, I don't know. Part of it's trippy to look back on, but in another sense, it's like, wow, like, damn.
And we kind of want to like, I don't want to say it, like, I don't want to like speak grandly of ourselves, but in a way we want to steer our younger generation kind of away from that in a way,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
we want them to like focus on their creative projects
Yeah.
more and less on the streets.
Yes,
you know what I
because,
mean?
you know,
Yeah.
it can be chaotic out there. You don't know what kind of shit, and you know, unfortunately, you know, sometimes, people have gone into shit out there, like, you know, like in the music scene and shit, like, you know, and then
Yeah, it's crazy,
just,
bro.
Just lucky to, you know, it was an experience. We learned a lot from it. At least I can attest to that myself, and it is what it is. And now it's like it's a learning experience, and hopefully now from, you know, you just take what you took from it and.
Yeah, it's a
Helps you grow.
tool. We have it as a tool now. We have the experience. We have the knowledge from growing up in that way, in that fashion, and then now it's what are we gonna do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we gonna just let it go to waste? Are we gonna just talk about it, or are we gonna like prevent people from walking the same footsteps,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time like promote more healthier aspects of like music and it, because like, to be honest, the one thing that always brought these things together, it was always the music.
Mhm.
Like the cholos robbing the parties and the drugs and the violence,
Yeah.
and that's the streets, you know. But at the end of the day, it was us in a lot somewhere just wanting to dance and have fun with our friends. You know what I mean? Am I right?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's true because, dude, what the fuck? Like, we were just a bunch of kids putting ourselves in dangerous situations for what? I mean, yeah, part of it was to get fucked up. Don't get me wrong. You know, you're a young kid, you want to get fucked up, but
Timmy and Tommy from like the suburbs, they don't have to deal with that kind of bullshit when
don't.
they go get drunk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know what I mean.
Yes.
But we do. You know. So
and
yeah.
we were doing it, and we were playing in bands. Like, this is just something we did. It was like, I want to play music. Okay, it's fun. I'm gonna do it. You know, and yeah, granted. And this is part of the reason why earlier I was like, no sane person was still not keep trying to like play music, I guess. But I don't know. For some of us, I guess it's just
like if you look at it like from a logical standpoint, like logistically, it doesn't make sense to continue on an endeavor that isn't providing or being fruitful and is just taking energy, right?
yeah.
But
But I would argue that it's fruitful in another sense. That it's fruitful in the fact that, as far as some of us go, you gain a sense of, like you mentioned earlier, fulfillment, because some of us, that creative endeavor fulfills you.
Yeah,
deep
no,
inside.
for sure, for sure.
So
Yeah, and I think we're all even when we were young and we were doing all this backyard stuff,
Mhm.
it that's what we were searching for, right? We were searching for fulfillment. We were discovering ourselves and figuring out what kind of music we like, what are we trying to do, you know, what kind of girls are we trying to get in our this is what we were trying to figure out. And at the same time we were like, okay, but where's this gonna take me? Where am I gonna end up? You know, am I gonna be am I gonna turn into a wino? You know,
and it happens.
and it happens,
It
bro.
happens, dude.
Yo, I know
Unfortunately.
plenty
Yeah.
of friends that either ended up dead or completely destroyed their lives with drugs, or ended up on the street homeless, or ended up in jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is a typical recourse of homies in Linwood these days, you know? And even to this day, we're only 30 years old, and like half our friends are already dead, or like half of us are gone. You know what I mean? Like, there's not too many of us left. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about, because we don't like this. This is another thing I noticed when I left Linwood, is that not a lot of people come and go. Like, it's a very like closed off area, Southeast LA. Like, people either grow up there and stay there, or leave, but not too many people go there. You know what I mean? From other places. Like, you don't get too many outsiders. Like, and the demographics is like what, like 80% Hispanic.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 15% black, 5% other, something like that, right? So it's kind of weird. Like, so many Mexicans, you know, so many
Latino.
yeah,
Latino
first
people.
generation specifically, because like I would say East
Yeah.
LA has like third generation, second generation Mexicans that like their parents speak English, right? But in our hood, it's like first generation Mexicans. Like, most of our parents, they don't speak English,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
they migrated from Mexico in like the 80s, 90s kind of thing. You know, we were all born in the 90s kind of thing.
100%, yeah.
90s, right? Yeah. So I was born in the 90s as well. So it's kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah.
We're different from other millennials, I think, as far as like music and all these other concepts.
Yeah, because as far as music goes, you know what's funny? Yeah, as far as music goes, a lot of the music that my parents, specifically my dad, grew up with, I've learned has actually in a weird way seeped into what I do today in that kind of
100%, bro.
Yeah.
100%. You know, like, how many times have you seen me at a backyard show playing cumbias
Yeah.
or playing something funny
Yeah.
like this? You know, and just everyone's like, whippy. You know, like, beep, 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 beep. Everybody, bro. Everybody in the party is like, oh shit, that's a turn up. El baile del beep, 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 beep,
Yup.
beep. Everybody comes out. You know what I
the
mean?
pajarito one.
All of them, bro.
Yeah.
That's you. You're the guitar guy. You bust out with that one every
Every
time.
time, dude. Every time. Dude.
I know this because I heard it.
Damn.
And then you'll hear me
Guilty.
Yup. Bro, we love that stuff, and this is what provides like that spiciness. I think,
Yep.
like, you know, ska music, like when people think ska music in general, I don't think a lot of people know that there's even such a thing as like South Central ska. You know, like,
It's very particular.
Yeah, it's
yes.
very particular.
Yes.
Like, people think ska music, they think like, oh, one step beyond, you know, they think like weird British people or black Jamaican people,
like the very old school roots, like the
yeah,
roots of
roots,
it.
yeah, like, yeah. But people hardly ever think like Mexicans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a whole big thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, there's bands in
Yep.
Mexico. There's like
There's like sectorcore, right?
Sectorcore in Mexico. There's a whole group of bands in Mexico, Panteon Rococo, and all kinds of stuff going on out there. And it influences South Central in a way. And then fools in South Central make crazy ska music. And
La
it's-
Resistencia.
La Resistencia and
Yep.
Ecolecua and like
Yep.
all these bands. Like, it's pretty sick shit if you think about it. It's like super low key. Like, and that, I could say the same for everything. Like, people don't know that there's like South Central indie music. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh shit.
People don't know that there's you know, one of the biggest things when I was growing up was like house music, like electro house music was very popular in the 2011, 2012 era. And around the time, like Compton in particular was like a hub for like big DJs. Like we would see, like, we even saw like Sonny Moore, aka Skrillex, come down to the hood
Really?
to one of our backyard parties, to one of our El Segundo dirty horses in the lot parties. You know what I mean?
Hey, I know that place.
You know that place.
Dude, dirty as fuck. Dude, you couldn't walk out of there without your fucking pants being covered in dirt.
Hey, you get home and you're sneezing out black stuff
Oh my god, dude. Yep.
after being in the pit for too long,
Yep.
right? So imagine that, bro. Like we're just chilling in the hood, we're doing our own thing, and then Skrillex is here trying to be cool. You know, like what the fuck? What are you doing?
Well, I
here?
mean, didn't Casualties do something similar?
Yeah, a lot of people did something
like
very
fucking,
similar. Yeah,
The Casualties had a South Central show. Like they threw a house show in South Central. The Casualties, dude. Like the epitome of street punk music as it is. Like
it doesn't get more street than South Central,
Nope.
South LA. You know what I mean? It doesn't get more street than Compton.
So I mean, I guess you can look at it. You can look at that two ways. One way is like, these motherfuckers just trying to appeal to that. You know, they're already the epitome of the capitalized fucking like punk band, and you know this night they've lost their touch to the streets or where they came from. So this is just like an appeal to that. Or I
see. I didn't think of it that way.
No, I mean some people
I
probably
could see that. I could
especially
see that.
You know, like street crust punks.
Like a marketing
they could
type
probably
of thing.
see. Yeah, they could probably see it that way. It's like nah. But I don't know. I particularly don't really see it that way. I see it as like these motherfuckers. Like it's like the Metallica of fucking punk rock took the time to come down here to the streets of fucking South Central to play a fucking backyard show.
Yeah,
like, I don't
that's
know,
crazy.
Like,
at the end of the day, they still did it. You know what I
still
mean? Whether it was for marketing purposes or
like
they're trying to appeal to their
be.
base or whatever. But at the end of the day, they still went over there and they still fucking someone threw a 40-ounce somewhere. You know what I mean?
Somewhere against the wall somewhere. Dude, there's this fucking remember there's this church, abandoned church that somewhere in Compton. I forgot. I think it was like Rosecrans or something. I don't know if you ever went there, but they used to throw fucking shows there, dude. It was
I did. I threw a few shows in that spot myself.
It was literally an abandoned church. I remember we used to go there and like the fucking
Yeah, we got power from the neighbor.
Holy shit!
There was no power.
This fool's just like okay.
Yeah, hey, compa, hey, le doy 50 bolas si me deja conectar la luz.
Fuck it.
Let's go.
Like $50, fool.
$50.
Hell yeah, I'll do the same shit. But like, if some kid's like, hey, me pasa la luz, 50 bolas. Toma, güey. Toma, güey. You know, dame las 50, güey.
Hey, but if the cops come, you better toss that wire over,
yeah,
boy.
True though.
You know what I mean? Hey, cops are always a thing.
Just link it back in. Like,
isn't that funny how like this is tell me if I'm wrong, but like throwing parties versus shows, it was always obvious that the cops, most of them being like predominantly like male whites outside of the LA area, maybe they live in the suburbs, right? Most of these guys patrol in Linwood, and they're let's be honest, they're hella like grimy, you know what I mean? And and they go to parties, they don't like parties, you know, they don't like DJs, they don't like people at parties. There's NOS tanks, there's drugs, they don't like it. But when they go to a show, when they rate a show, have you noticed that these fools are always like, hey, play Iron Maiden, fool? You know what I mean? Like the cops are always like chill at the shows for some reason.
Dude, there's like 2 videos out there of some Central LA where the cops like playing drums and these fools are playing punk.
Oh right.
Yeah,
the cop gets on the drum set and play. And I think it appeals. I think it appeals to them because maybe they grew up with that music, right? Like maybe they're Iron Maiden guys, right? Maybe when they were young, they remember being in the backyard and having a beers with their friends and playing music, right?
Yeah.
But they don't relate to the hip hop. They don't relate to the other stuff.
Yeah.
But when they get to a backyard show, they're like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like I've had it happen where like I go to, they're like, oh, you're the guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy, and he's like, all right, just shut it off at like 1. All right.
Yeah.
That has happened before. You know, like, oh, you know what? All right, just make sure you clean up after. You know, this has happened before. You know, so it's kind of weird. Like, what do you think about that? Like,
I wouldn't know what to tell you honestly. I guess I mean maybe that little theory you have probably is the best one. It's
kind of funny, right?
They probably just grew up with rock music, hard rock, and heavy metal, and so
it's so weird. Like you're a target anywhere else in South LA, but if you're in a backyard show, you're cool. You know, you're just like, oh yeah, let it slide.
Except for the cholos when they jack you for their money.
Nah, yeah. Hey, fuck cholos, straight up.
I mean, it happened, dude. It happens, but I don't know about nowadays. You know, I mean.
Yeah. What is this is another because
damn,
like,
I just tripped out for a second. It's like,
wait, what's happening? No,
because you know how we've been talking about like the past. And I just realized, like, we're like in.
There's a distance between then and
years.
now.
Yeah.
There's a distance between then and now. We're just reminiscing because we know each other for so long. We haven't hung out in a long time. So of course, if we talk, we're gonna bring up these old things. You know, it's natural. It's natural. But that's a good point because like this is why I asked, like, because you said you have new young talent on your the music key project thing, right? So, and this is a question that I asked Monster, but he didn't really answer it definitively because he says he hasn't really witnessed anything in particular. But have you seen, like, is there a scene? Like, is there like a show? But pre-COVID, of course, because COVID has kind of ruined everything. But
Yeah.
let's say pre-COVID, is there a scene? Is there people active, like, trying to do show stuff?
That's a good question, actually. In part, I side with Monster a little bit because given that I am, we've grown a bit. Most of my days are swamped with the fact that I'm just at work, and then when I'm off work, I'm working on my own band. So it's hard to say what like if there is a scene, but from what I can pick up, there is a very particular scene happening at the moment. It's kind of like it's almost like a rock renaissance of some kind, like a surf punk, like a surf punk, very grunge style of playing where it's very not very tight in a sense, but it's very loose and like
so less refined.
Yeah, less refined, very raw.
Okay.
So
yeah.
some
See,
of
this is what I want to know. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm out of the loop. I don't even live in South LA anymore. I live in the South Bay,
Yeah.
which is like really suburban and really chill. Like nothing really happens out here. So I'm kind of curious to know, like,
So so a few bands that I can name just off the top of my head that fall under that kind of umbrella is number one, obviously Safety Pins.
Shout out
Safety Pins, and there's a band called Cosmic Kitten. So they're very Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters ish kinds of style.
I feel
hard
it.
rock.
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this band called Moon Fuzz. So I first saw Moon Fuzz about 4 years ago, and it's just this band of I think it's like 3 chicks. And it's I've been able to see them particularly evolve from when I first saw them. I was like, this is a pretty fucking good band. And then, now they have all their music on Spotify and everything, and it's been like 4 years, and then their sound even changed, and it's just like, yeah, dude. And then that's one of them. There's a Spanish rock band called Vim Furor.
Wait, what?
I know, right? Vim Furor. So they're a Spanish rock band, and that's another kind of like rock renaissance type of band that's very taking on this very like what's the word? I'm like buzzed a little bit.
Oh, we're hitting we got the 3 beers and don't worry. We need more is what we need.
Point is, as far as I can see, myself in particular, there is a kind of very small rock renaissance occurring. Some of them featured on the music key. And
yeah, that's cool if you can be part of like bringing a new thing together, which is what we were talking about, right? Like the whole point of doing anything is to bring a new thing together.
Yeah.
Recently I had in regard, what's weird is that the show business and the music business, in a way, not just the business but the project or the I'm forgetting words too, but the essence.
We ran out of beer.
No, don't worry. We'll order. We'll DoorDash some. We'll make some fool come out here, and DoorDash us.
All cold as fuck. Like, did you guys order DoorDash?
Fucking assholes.
Fucking assholes.
No, but
hey, hold on. That's another trippy part that, looking back, you wouldn't have. At least me, I wouldn't have fucking thought like, yeah, you can just bring out this computer out of your fucking hand and just tap a few things, and the food, some dude is just gonna bring your food to you, kind of like pizza delivery, but not really. Like, this dude's gonna be very specific about what you bring.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much different from being like, hey, homie, hey, can I get a large
pizza,
with pepperoni? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not that. But at the same time, I see what you're, because it goes beyond.
Yeah, because it was very
like, I'm like, hey, you know what? I need this like fucking 135 millimeter rear through axle hub with disc brake, and I need it to be 32 holes so I can lace it to this. Let me order this right now. Whoop,
and there
it's
you go.
here. You know what I mean?
It's
That's
here.
weird. You know?
Yeah.
Now that's weird. Now if Jeff Bezos gets away with his drones, now we're talking a drone dropping it off.
Hey, maybe in 10 years, dude, we'll see that shit like, oh, and then we'll just be desensitized to it, which is, it's just gonna be what it is. Like,
Hey.
oh, there it goes. Hello, Jerome. Do my thing.
Let me cause we're getting close to the I drank too many beers time. So
That's the best time.
we'll throw on a track so that you guys, so people can check out. What was the single that you were telling me about that you guys have for? We haven't talked about. We will when we come back.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Nowhere Man, your band itself, right? In that project, but how do we pull up that particular single that you had?
All right. So if you want to hear what the music,
I'm gonna play it now.
Okay. So what you do is you go to Spotify.com and then you type in Nowhere Man and then you type in La Noche Mi Canva.
All right, here we go.
And then there you go. That's the only single we have out at the moment. We do have 2 more in the works, which were postponed thanks to fucking David.
Hold
COVID.
up, I don't want nobody to see me logging in. Hold on. I gotta switch the screen real quick. So that's what's cool about the computer is that as opposed to a HDMI switcher,
Mm-hmm.
I can like pull things up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Joe Rogan's podcast has like a Jamie in the background. And this fool's back there just like switching shit, looking shit up. But he was always fucking it up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always like, yo, like, just erase that, dude. Just get your own keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, I can easily pull up whatever I'm trying to do, log into whatever, you know?
But then you don't have no Jamie.
Oh.
I just joking.
No, it would be nice to have Jamie, but then we have to pay this fool.
I would assume Joe Rogan just doesn't want to do it. Like, I think he just wants to just. He just
it takes
wants to
away.
be there.
Honestly, a lot of people have commented on in comments before where they'll say that during a very active conversation that it seems as if I'm not like responding like as fast or as fully, and it's probably because at the same time that I'm talking to you, I'm fucking switching scenes and doing other random shit over here. So I could see that. You know, if anybody out there wants to volunteer to be on the pod, and I'm talking to Ivan because he's the only one in the chat, and do the scene. He's a tech guy. He can do it.
You can do it, Ivan. What's up, big dog? And then
Yeah.
we'll jam and shit. Hey, we should jam sometime, dude. I know. I seen your vids, fool.
Oh
Posting
yeah, he
up,
does. Yeah, he has
like
uploaded a
Macedon
few,
and
yeah.
fucking Gojira, fool. Let's jam, fool.
Gojira. Hey, how come I logged in, but how come I can't fucking play your
I don't
shit?
know.
Oh, this is bullshit. I gotta download the Spotify app and do that whole deal. Let me check if I have it. If I don't have it,
If you have Apple Music, it's on there too.
Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I could probably pull that up here. And if not, we could pull up one of your YouTube singles or whatever. And
Oh, it's on there too.
oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
YouTube Music. Can
Okay,
I use the
let's go do
restroom?
that.
I gotta.
yeah. This is what do you think I'm trying to do, boy? Okay, let's see.
Wait, can I use the restroom real quick?
Let me pull this thing up first.
Oh, sorry.
And that way we can have a break to go use the restroom.
you just see.
This is what I'm attempting to do.
Sorry.
No worries. So I just searched the music key. What's the name of the song?
No, just put Nowhere Man. La Noche Mi Canvas.
All right.
The second one. There it is.
Perfect.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Much better. All right. So we're going to go on a restroom break and we'll let y'all enjoy this track right here.
Bada bing, bada boom.
We'll be right back.
A la orilla del mar negro de nuevo. Atado la noche me consume el miedo. Siento que me observa. Mis emociones bailan. Espejismos y susurros navegan por mi alrededor. Me dicen cosas al oído y no sé si reales son. Electricidad surge por todo mi cuerpo. La noche en mi canvas y yo su piel pintor. De repente se me escapa el tiempo. como concepto ya no lo entiendo. Un humilde y simple espectador. Tonos altos suenan y mi mente agrega color. Mismos y susurros navegan por mi alrededor. Me dicen cosas al oído y no sé si reales son. Electricidad surge por todo mi cuerpo. La noche en mi canvas y yo su piel.
Check. Yeah, we'll play one more. We'll grab more drinks and then we'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. You got another track. This was honestly a lot different than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight
That's
though.
good. That's good. I like that.
You have another track or live stream that you want to showcase?
Yeah, we can go a little disco. Nowhere Man, Foolish.
Foolish?
Yes. Disclaimer. I fucked the vocals up a bit, but it is what it is.
And this is with your the music key setup, right?
Yes, yes.
Sick.
Mhm.
I'm
Thank you,
gonna
sir.
full screen this for people to see.
For sure, for sure. Mind the chorus, please.
No, don't beat yourself
Nah,
up.
I know. It's all good. Hope you enjoy it.
Hello, everyone. We are Nowhere Men, and this is Foolish.
Check 1 2. Oh my God, we knew this was gonna happen. We went out for a smoke break.
It's all good. It's all good.
We come
What band is
back.
that? That's a pretty good band right there. Cocoa Butter. Shout out to Cocoa Butter.
I'm gonna get a copyright strike now.
Oh
though.
shit.
I'm gonna have to delete this part of the podcast. Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, we kind of went over our time by a minute or so, but we're up just a few seconds.
We good.
So we might not get a copyright strike for that.
I think
But
we'll be good.
isn't that annoying that you can't like? Why do you have to be so strict about all that?
Oh,
Like,
right.
it's
Yeah, I know,
ridiculous,
dude.
bro. It's
The
fucking dumb.
demonetization and all that stuff.
Like,
I mean, how long do you think that will last till new media will arise and then kind of usurp it? You know, it's like, doesn't that usually happen?
it's
You know?
already like, all right. Let's talk about that for a second because it has happened before, and so say for example in our days like MySpace was around,
Yeah.
and then it got boring, and then people went to Facebook,
yeah.
and then Facebook got boring. People
Yeah.
went to Instagram,
Mhm.
and then but now Instagram got bought out by Facebook.
Mhm.
So now there's really no place to go that isn't a thing that is already done. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's super annoying, and it's really whack. But nowadays, these people have monopolized everything.
Mhm.
So now, if you are streaming to YouTube or Twitch or wherever, you're gonna get taken down for copyright. It's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah.
There's really no free avenue of expression anymore. You know. And at the same time, I do argue that maybe producing original content is good too. You know, maybe having and not playing other people's stuff might be better for like your project in the long run. You know, like as
Yeah,
far
I
as the
mean-
podcast goes, you know, keeping other people's shit out of the podcast
Yeah.
has been a great help because it's been making our content more original.
Mhm.
People can tune in, but at the same time, I can't review like some new stuff that came out, or I can't like a new movie comes out. We want to talk about it. We have to only play like show screenshots. Even then, bro, I have shown screenshots
Yeah.
of a movie and had it taken down because like the algorithm figured out that the screen was displaying an image
Yeah.
from a movie.
Damn,
Like
so
what?
crazy.
Like
Not
and
even with disclaimers. With that.
you
that
can
would-
do all of that. You can fight it. You can dispute it. The algorithm will catch it, and then you have to dispute it. And then after you dispute it, then maybe they'll allow it.
Mhm.
There's a thing called fair use. So there are ways to review content
Mhm.
that allow for you to be able to say, hey, we're just reviewing it. We're talking about it. We're not like re-uploading the same movie over for you to watch again.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like we're this is different. This is a review. You know, so there's ways around it, but you have to fight it every time. Like
Yeah.
you have to go in there and actually dispute it and go through the whole legal process, and
Mhm.
it's honestly super annoying. So I
It's-
apologize to the viewers who had to watch some random band, but we'll pull up another Nowhere Man track so that we can get back on track. Yeah, you have another one that you want to kind of showcase?
Fuck it, yeah. Off the stream, we got a song called Strength of Heart. So a lot of our influences for this band in particular, so we take a lot of influence from rock en español in particular. Like some of our, I would say about, there's a good percentage of our songs that are actually in Spanish, 100% Spanish. Some of them are bilingual. We just
Is
take
it in this Valentine's Day live stream here?
yeah, so we just take a lot of influence from rock en español. Like we just love like Caifanes, La Barranca, Soda Stereo, those kind of bands.
Those bands are great, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, and we take a lot. Me and the drummer in particular, and the guitar player. I think I would, it's safe to. I think I would be safe to assume that all of us in the band take a lot of influence from these bands, and then
That's rad.
yeah,
I'm gonna play this track. I'm gonna grab myself a drink,
hell
and we'll
yeah,
be right back.
for sure.
Let's let our listeners check out more music-y stuff and Nowhere Men stuff. And then maybe we'll play a few clips of other bands you featured as
Fuck
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
That chorus right there.
I see what you're saying. I can tell you, like, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I can tell you that this track is low in volume for some
Yes.
reason.
Well, it goes back to what we were saying, that we were having a lot of
I'll
issues.
boost it here.
Yeah, we were having a lot of issues prior to the live stream. And in terms of sound.
It happened to me last podcast as well,
Yeah.
bro. Audio is difficult.
Yeah, it happened, and we would have preferred that it didn't happen, but we just went with it. We're like, fuck it. Today we're just gonna do it. Next time we'll be better. Like, that's just a mindset we went in with.
I'm gonna let this track play. I'm gonna shut off the mics.
For sure.
When howling winds of uncertainty sway the imagination, the night appears to never fade away. I know deep down, however, that my beating heart is ocean, mightier than relentless forces of fire. Oh, ravaging waters, wave, free and in glory, cleanse and guide me. The seeming
The vocals are fine, bro.
Thank you. I've been working on it. See, the funny thing about the vocals, I started working on it years ago because I was inspired by a lot of my friends in particular that would sing and were very good. And I was like, dude, I wonder if I can if I actually tried, could I do it? And I tried it, and then I felt like, I guess I can do it.
intellect tries to stay one
No, it's great.
But what really pushed me to really try it was because I've always been a Caifanes fan. But he's not that good. Like when you really think about it, he's not the greatest singer. But
It's just raw.
yeah, it's very raw, and then I figured, like, if he just went for it, dude, I could fucking do the same thing. And then I just threw myself.
How
into it.
does Richie feel playing that synthetic drum set?
At that moment, not very well. Like it was like, fuck, it's not what I want. But we've managed to work around it. So next time, it's gonna be much better.
TBH for like live streaming, it makes more sense, right? Like you can control the audio
Yes,
level better,
yes.
right? Like otherwise, he's gonna be way louder than all y'all, right?
Yeah. Because initially, what we used to do, we had to mic everything, and then that's a lot more work. So this is a lot more practical. So this was our first test run with the new equipment that we had, and we were like, all right, we can do it. And now we learned from our
What is this
mistakes.
mic you have here? You have like a big mic hanging out in front of you. Is it like a big condenser mic right here?
No, it's a vocal mic in particular, but I forgot what the brand is called, and I forgot what it is called exactly. But
You really are not the tech guy.
no, definitely not. I'm the musician that I'm the song.
You're the
write
front
songs.
man. Look at you. You're the front man.
But that's why I feel so blessed to be working with these two, because we're all very fucking different, dude. Like, the four of us are very different. We're not the same kind of people. But I feel like that helps because
And who's this guy over here? I don't know this guy.
Francisco. Yeah.
Just shout out your band
Frankie.
members.
Fuck yeah. All right. So we got Richie, the tech head.
Richie, the tech head, the drummer.
I've known him for fucking most of my life. Like, looking back, yeah, literally, like most of my life, I've known him. We grew up together. His brother Tony right here on the guitar, fucking machine ass fool. Know him also for, I would say, I've known him for most of my life, intimately. No, most of my life, but only intimately. He's obviously playing in the band with them.
Right.
And then,
That's intimate.
yes, very, very so. And then Frankie here, I've known him since high school, and then only up until recently did we reconnect, and then he joined our band, and it worked out.
Happy
He's a great
Valentine's
guy.
Day, everybody. Bada boom, bada boom. Thank you for sticking around, man.
And that's the thing about what I've always loved about playing in a band, in this one in particular, is the fact that the four of us are so fucking different, characteristically
Story.
speaking.
Yeah.
That keeps you going.
So there's so many times where we butt heads, dude. Like we have arguments about.
That's normal. With
Yeah.
a band, we were just talking about that, but it's like you know, as a DJ, you only have to deal with your ego.
Yes.
But in a band, you're dealing
Yes.
with multiple people,
yes.
and then you have to please everyone. Everyone has to be happy with the results, and
or,
you know,
or not
yeah.
necessarily, because there's been many times where my ego plays.
Are you fucking whistling?
Yes, I'm doing like a little.
Hold up.
Oh, this song, we have to redeem this song because the chorus came out fucked.
You're fucking whistling, my guy. What the fuck? That's legit.
But yeah, and
It's only it's only like a 4-piece band. That's it.
yes.
Yeah?
Initially,
Sick.
we were a 5-piece for a little while. We had a lead singer, but he lived in Texas.
I'm gonna do a little shout out. What up? We got the boy Lewis in the studio doing a live stream. What's up? Check it out. Playing his tracks.
The chorus is this is the first time we actually performed this song ever. So, but anyways, yeah. So
It reminds me of that. Have you seen that metal band like where it's like a guy yodeling and it's like
no.
and he gets more and more intense.
is it Tenacious D?
No, it's not
No?
Tenacious
Oh.
D, bro. It's some yodeling fool from like I don't know where. That's just
don't know.
rocking, bro.
Yeah, this one I was not really happy with how the way it came out, but in essence, fuck it. You know, we just went for it because this is the first time we rehearsed it once, and then we figured we'll just toss it in here. Fuck it.
This is a problem I had with Monster, and I'm gonna say it so that Monster can hear it.
What's up, big dog?
This like it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I want you to perform your music on a live stream. Like it doesn't have to be like a perfect set where you have all the details worked out.
Yes.
You know, like we never did that at a backyard show.
No.
We never had all the details worked out at a back. As a matter of fact, somebody was always too faded. Somebody was always throwing up in the back. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Something always went wrong. You know, somebody was sick. Somebody was out. You know, somebody had to go to work. This kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
So I don't expect like a perfect, like dialed in, like let's go, you know?
Yeah.
So at the same time, like I'm happy that even though you're not 100% with it,
No. Yeah.
that you still did it.
Yeah,
you know?
we felt, you know, fuck it, let's
fuck
just do
it,
it.
yeah.
Fuck it, let's just do it. And it's not gonna be perfect, and we knew it wasn't gonna be perfect from the start, but we just, I don't know, we just went for it. Cause
At the same time, you know, when it seems sloppy and whack and like,
no, so I guess I don't know. We just went for it. We figured, okay, if it's not to our standard, we can always fucking re-perform it, and it'll be.
And this
better
is a
next
live
time.
stream, and you're gonna have many more live streams.
Yes.
You know, and it's gonna get better as time goes along. This podcast wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, like at the beginning,
Mhm.
like you learn as you go along,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
And that's-
So like, everything's a learning process. Like everything is you're growing,
Mhm.
you're figuring it out. This is what DIY is all about,
Yep.
bro. Like honestly,
Yep.
I hate to put a label on DIY, but it's what it is.
It is because you just learn from what you just dive into it.
Something like that.
You reflect and you learn from it and you improve.
Hey,
Bada-
you have
bada bing,
some of
bada
these
boom.
some other bands that you've showcased, so we can maybe pop some of those in there.
We could Happy Drunk Cartel. We could start with them.
All right,
Fucking
so I just
amazing
go
band.
music key, happy drunk,
Yes, sir. I think they performed Beer Run.
and I'm showing y'all how to search so y'all can find it on your own.
Beer Run.
Oh, hey, and you have a podcast as well.
Oh yeah, we used to do podcasts.
Oh, let me check. Hold up, I didn't know this.
I was not the best host. I was very nervous.
No,
Usually,
let's check this out.
but-
Let's check this out.
I think this one in particular was very good because I'm a legit fan of Happy Drunk Cartel. Have been for many years, so it came very natural.
I'm gonna just skim through it a little bit.
With me today, I got the Happy Drunk Cartel.
Who's switching these scenes?
Whoa.
This
What's
was
going on over there?
after the fact.
Oh, after the fact.
So multiple cameras
Oh,
recording all at once, and then after the fact, we chose what frames to use.
This is sick,
So,
bro.
Happy
This
Drunk Cartel,
motherfucker.
local ska band, ska hardcore, punk.
Hey, you got the little thing in the.
been around for-
You know what you're doing.
Well,
You
that's-
know what you're doing.
I saw the boy, dude, Richie.
Oh wait, Richie did all that.
Yes, sir.
Oh
Yes.
shit.
Well, I've been
Where's
trying to
Richie, man? You need to bring him on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll
next
bring
time.
him on. Hell yeah.
This is rad, bro.
Legit. It was funny
This is
because kind
legit.
of clown car 'cause they had
Yeah, I'm happy to do like I'm happy to be a feature on your. Hey, I know this fool right here.
He's sick, bro.
Yeah, dude. A long time ago, I was doing recordings like because I was bootlegging Ableton Pro Live on my computer and just recording bands, and I have some tracks from Happy Drunk Cartel that I recorded for them that they ultimately ended up not using, of course. But they were okay. They were like decent tracks, you know. And I was like, oh, like I remember old boy right here for sure. Like he's been in the band the whole time. That's a guarantee. This is pretty rad, bro. These are your homies.
Yeah, and they performed my favorite song at the very end, which
At the very end?
yeah, I feel very
Let's check it out. It's
grateful that they took the time to perform it.
Is it in this
Yeah, around there.
Mean or rude or anything about
There you
it. I've
go.
always
Fish, I bet it would drown. I'm on the verge of going insane.
Mexican Steve-O?
I know I got no friends. I've got nowhere to go. I'm stuck all alone again. It was such a lonely day. I almost killed myself, but I drank my pain away. Look in the mirror. You know it's gonna be alright. Cause tonight
Good vibes, good
we'll
vibes.
make it
Pre-COVID,
out
dude.
alive.
It almost seems like a different fucking
Such a
world.
lonely day, walking all alone to my fucking empty grave.
I sometimes wonder,
Lonely day, such a
are we
lonely
ever
day,
gonna go
stuck
back?
all alone on this fucking empty day.
Yeah,
What a lonely
in a way,
day,
I guess.
such a
There
lonely day,
maybe
yeah,
some things
walking
will
all
be
alone to
different,
my
but
fucking empty grave.
it's
What
such a
lonely
weird
day,
fucking thing.
What a
The
lonely
virus.
day, what a lonely
It's like-
day, what a lonely day.
It's not. It has a 99% survival rate, but when it does hit a certain percentage of people, it's not good.
And honestly, look, this is an open podcast. Like we're open to any ideas and any topics, and a lot of times,
We'll make it out alive.
like this podcast being open to any political ideology, anything. And me myself being, I'm sure you know, like I criticize people heavily on the internet. Like I'm not
Wait, like net banging or what? Like,
net banging. That's a
gone
good way
wild?
to.
Who's gone wild?
That's a good way to describe it. But yes, you know, like on the whole COVID perspective on everything, you know, like I'm opinionated per se, right? I have lots of opinions, and this is a place where we're free to discuss those opinions. So a lot of the times I get in trouble for saying certain things or talking about certain things, you know. But at the end of the day, like we're just chilling, you know. And I'm happy to talk with somebody that wants to talk about anything. So in regards to COVID, we've done podcasts before where we talk in depth about what we believe the reality of it is versus what is claimed to be, and these type of things. So we can be a very conspiratorial podcast here at the same time.
good.
You know what I mean? We can be a very opinionated podcast, and by all means, we're not left leaning in any way, right? We're not like pro Joe Biden, and we're not right leaning in any way. We're not pro Trump, but we're in the middle somewhere, right? And we want to just gather like as much intelligence as possible, right? Like we
I can
want to know,
respect that, hell
we
yeah.
want to know what the real answer is to a lot of these problems. So in regards to COVID, like you were saying, like we don't know what's going on, to be honest. You know, like it's just people say things, and we're just supposed to take their word for what it is. And it's like, yo, like I take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? When people are making claims, I'm gonna refute those claims as much as possible. So people saying that COVID had, like you said, a 99% survival rate, and then you look at the numbers, you look at the fact that okay, there's a certain number of COVID infections, but then go and look at the flu. Go and look at the rate of normal
the flu.
seasonal flu infections, and it's dropped almost to zero. It's almost like dramatic. So in my opinion, all of the normal flu, seasonal flu conditions are being labeled as
conflated
with COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I can see why that might be happening.
And I'm gonna just say that straight up, just so in case people are wondering where I stand on that. That's where I stand on that. But at the same time, we're open to anybody's arguments. You know, if anybody can disprove me, and if anybody can shed some light on why it may be something for us to worry about, you know, then I'll be open to it. But at the current state that we're in, Southeast LA is suffering, like, according to the numbers, right? Hispanics in the Linwood. Did you know that Linwood, California, is like
Linwood is a case study.
Yeah, it's a case study. It's like it's a high rate of infection.
Yes.
Like higher than anywhere else in LA. It's like an epicenter.
Yep.
That's ridiculous,
Right,
bro. What the fuck is going on in Linwood, bro?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but it's trippy that our hometown is the epicenter, like the way it is, right?
And
It's fucking weird.
there's a lot of funny things going on in Linwood. I'm gonna give you some of the topics that we're bringing up in the next pod. So, for example, for anybody who's a Linwoodian, right, a Linwood resident, there's Linwood Middle School and there's Linwood High School, right? Linwood High School fell apart like a few like last month or whatever. Like it's literally crumbling, like the infrastructure.
Really?
To the point where it's dangerous for students to go back. So no students are going back to Linwood High School. You know what they're doing? They're sending the they're saying, "Oh, Linwood High School is going back to its roots. It's going back to Linwood Middle School, what used to be the high school." But where are you going to put the middle schoolers? You know what I mean? And they're playing it off as if it's not because the fucking
infrastructure.
because
shit.
Exactly, bro. And Linwood, like the government has always been so corrupt, bro. Like I've owned a bike shop, I've owned a business in Linwood, so I've dealt with the city before.
Yeah.
And these guys are out of hand, bro. They're out of pocket, bro. They're doing weird stuff, and like the things that they're doing are ridiculous, bro. They're putting a roundabout in certain streets. They're supposedly fixing streets, right, that need repair. They're revamping Ham Park. Long Beach Boulevard has like some project where they're like spending like $300 million to make something happen. Like all this money goes nowhere. You know what I mean? We hear these numbers. Did you know that the Linwood Unified School District received like something like a $500 million grant for COVID relief? And the schools have been closed the whole time. So what do they do with $500 million besides let Linwood High School fall apart? You know what I mean? And now everyone has to go back to Linwood Middle School. And what are they going to do with the middle schoolers? It's ridiculous, bro.
Damn, I didn't even know about that.
There's some funny stuff going on in Linwood right now, like politics-wise. I've actually invited a guy, which he doesn't know, and I don't think he's going to tune into this podcast to hear me say this, but there's a guy, Jose Luis Solache. And I'm just going to straight up put his name out there. This is a guy who's relatively our age, who is now involved in politics and is like part of City Hall. He's a city council member. And this fool is like making all these promises and saying all this stuff. And he's like a kind of like a internet representative of like the school district and the Linwood City Council. And he's making all these wild claims that they're going to do this and they're going to do that and that and this and that and that and that. And I'm just looking at him like, yo, like, quit bullshitting. You know what I mean? Stop lying, bro. Like, I actually invited old boy to the podcast, and he's replied, and he said indefinitely that he may or may not appear on the podcast via Skype because he's concerned about COVID, right? And they have at Ham Park they have COVID testing. They have a COVID testing site at Ham Park where they claim that they're roughly testing about 160 people a day is their current number, and they're blaming it on the residents that people aren't getting more COVID testing. And it's like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, people, if resources are available in Linwood, people are going to go to the resources. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that those resources were only available in the last, 3 weeks or so. So stop saying that you're helping the problem when you're just really trying to cover for your ass kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be such a great leap in this podcast, bro.
If that happens, that'd be dope. I'll fucking tune in, right?
Tune in, bro. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? We get a Linwood, representative, a government representative coming on the podcast to try and explain the wrongs.
Yeah.
Trying to make them seem right, And I'm going to be critical about it. I'm going to debunk. I'm going to give him my 2 cents. You know what I mean? And if he agrees, which he has already, and if we go through this process, it would be a thing, And honestly, this is why this podcast is awesome, because I get to reach out to people that usually are out of my grasp, So, it's honestly been a really grateful tool, I get to get people like you to come on and showcase your projects.
I'm just a nobody. I'm just the guy.
You're not a nobody.
Nah, I'm just the guy who does music.
But we're just guys, but we grew up there.
Yeah.
We deserve answers. You know what I mean? For all of the things, all the conditions of living there. Like my little sister and my little brother still live there and still go to those schools. I'm still concerned for their well-being, and I still want to know that everything's going right. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I may not live in the city, but I still want to be involved. You know what I mean? I still, you know.
That's noble, actually.
So I'm so excited for these new podcasts coming up. We have a bunch of guys. We have Lionel Harris coming on, which is like a political commentator. He's a black Trump supporter from South Central LA who's gonna be coming on. And we're gonna have a lot
Watch
of
out,
like,
Twitter. You already know Twitter's gonna go.
we have like
haywire.
political perspectives that are coming from different angles, you know. So
Yeah, no, and I completely commend you for that because like as far as politics go, I really like politics. I learn it on my own. I try not to really engage in like the social media kind of like
outside. You were saying that you follow a lot of guys that do political commentaries and things like that, right?
Yes.
So if you were to do this like quick, like I know like we're getting close to time or whatever, but I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. Like
yeah, sure.
If you had to describe yourself politically, like being someone that's from South Central or Southeast LA area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being someone who's Hispanic, being someone who plays in music and has done all these things that we all know each other for, where do you lie politically? Yeah.
I don't know. I guess politically, like with a real term, I wouldn't know what to say. I guess libertarian. But even then, I don't
Libertarian, thank you. Ching, 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 ching.
But even then, I don't. I guess if I were to try to explain myself, I guess it's I'm a kind of a bleeding heart liberal who knows that the world cannot bend to the will of my. I'm a bleeding heart liberal that knows that the world is very complicated and it can never always bend to what I wish it could be. It is what it is, and you have to try to work with that. And then the conservative mindset is worth listening to because they are a part of the world as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's not shut each other out.
Exactly.
Let's not do none of that. You know, let's keep playing. You know?
Fuck yeah.
Let's
That's
keep
the main
fucking playing.
shit.
Let's keep
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
playing. Hey, man, cheers. I got my wine and you got your water, but we're all good. Hey, I really appreciate you coming out. Shout out to everybody that we mentioned, and I hope you guys tune in. And if not, I'll tag all these guys
Fuck
so
yeah.
they can tune in. This is honestly one of my favorite podcasts so far. This guy right here, homie, OG homie, and yet we haven't talked for so long.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, but yet it feels natural and it feels great, and it feels like it feels like I was talking to you yesterday, even though that was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And I love it.
Hey, maybe next time we'll fucking get high as fuck and talk esoteric shit.
Oh,
We can go and we'll go there, bro.
Say no more. Say no more. We're on that. Hey, and bring your homies back to the podcast. You know.
Oh, hell yeah.
And don't hesitate to invite me onto your projects, and we'll fuck around. You know what I mean?
We'll collaborate in the future for sure.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, it was a pleasure, and it was great having you on the podcast. Looking forward to so many future projects, and I'm looking forward to your future projects, and I'm looking forward to checking out your new stuff, your new tracks, and I hope the Music Key does as best as it can ever do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we're about to leave y'all with that. Stay tuned for the restream. You'll be able to tune into this episode after, so don't worry. If you didn't tune in while it's live, just watch it later, you know? Hit us with a like, hit us with a subscribe, you know? I hate to be that guy. I don't ever do the like and subscribe and hit the notification, but you know,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Anyways, bros, hey, peace out. Stay safe.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out, y'all. Hey, thank you for coming, Louis.
Lávense el culo, cabrones.